What's up, everyone? It's your generic YouTuber, Joe Schmmo. I'm back with my generic intro. This time, we're back for some Joe's Corner. It's been a year, two, something like that. But I think it's about time we do a comeback because, I'm reviving everything. With me, I got Kool-Aid from Base Damage. Say hi, my friend.
Sup, bro?
I got Cam from Contains Anime.
Hello, Internet.
Hello. And then we got Hillary, which it's time for you to make your debut, my friend. Do your spiel.
My spiel?
Yeah.
Hi. I'm Hillary. I'm Clock Kitten on YouTube, and I have one solid video out right now. Ooh.
Don't worry.
I'm hoping to slowly but surely, if I could just make technology work. But I'm hoping to get my Kantai case opening video that I broke my back over out sometime in the near future.
So there you go. Yeah. Kool-Aid, Cam, do you want to do your spiel on your channel? Giving the floor to you guys.
Lore. Yeah, Billy, go ahead.
Okay. I run the Base Damage channel. I have people like Cam and Joe Schmo up there doing various podcasts, Weiss Schwartz content, and deck profiles and all sorts of other shenanigans, budget decks, and as of late, me and Kyle did a recent podcast for Fate Grand Order. We're trying to spread out into that, trying to do a little bit more content for that somewhere down the line once I get technology working as well. So I feel you on the technology issues there, Hillary. So
technology sucks.
Yeah, totally. Other than that, that is about it for me.
That podcast that you guys did was great. I really enjoyed it. I was excited to see it go
Much
up.
appreciated.
Hey, appreciate. So, Cam, I guess it's your go. So,
Sweet. I'm Cam from Contains Anime, which is a channel on YouTube where I spend a lot of money on things that I shouldn't buy, and the only way that I make myself feel better about it is by sharing it with the internet. So, subscribe.
Subscribe for more entertainment and me crying. But just like Cam here, if this is your first time and this brings you to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you. I'm an Anituber, or a wannabe Anituber. I spend a lot of money on things that I shouldn't have. But, I have them. So just like Cam, I share them with the world. I do manga reviews. I do gameplay. I do a bunch of different things. But the biggest series I'm doing is the Otaku Thrifting, where I go out and show you where I go spend all my money and, get the good buys and stuff. So go check that out, and I appreciate you all coming by.
Gotta flex the weeb clout, dude.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Flex. Hard flex.
All right, so with the new thing on Joe's Corner, we're going to talk about the new anime news that's coming out. So we're going to start with the Persona 5 Royale, which AKA you get the female pro tag from what it looks like from the trailer and everything they've thrown out there. It's hinting at, the female pro tag, which I'm hoping for. That means you get to date the other males in there, which Yusuke is mine, and he will be mine by the end of it, because I'm Persona 5 trash, and I will go buy it. So, what's your guys' quick opinion on that?
So,
I love it.
big fan of Persona. But bought Persona 5 on launch day. Yeah.
Same here.
I'm probably about 25 hours into it.
Boy.
So
it's called a busy life, and I understand
right,
that.
sure,
Totally
yeah.
understand that. Then you got me and Kool-Aid over here, which has like over 100 hours. Jesus, over 100 hours.
Easily.
Yeah.
I had to end up borrowing someone else's PlayStation 3 to be able to play it because I'm like, I need to play this. I bought the game not having a PS3 and said, can I borrow this? And then proceeded to use their PS3 for it. So
it's dedication.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. I'm like, I don't even have this.
And
So
then I'm over here. I got the Steelbook from launch day, getting every character I come across, like voice actor, to sign it. So far, I got Mona and I got Haru. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm gonna get the whole thing done by the end of it. So
there you go.
Sweet.
Right. So overall synopsis: everyone wants it. Everyone's gonna buy it when they get a chance. All right.
Yeah.
So on to the second season, giving tree that's been happening the last couple days. The big one is ReZero season 2. A lot of people are going crazy about it, especially Kool-Aid over here. He's like,
nope.
Contained. Oh, he's not. Oh.
No.
Oh.
Why
I'm
is
super
that?
excited.
Because after the first season, I'm like, I wonder how much more material this has. and I took a peek at spoilers, and I am very, very, very not content with what the author does to push on to push what he wants the fans to go towards. And I won't drop the spoilers in here. If you want to know what the hell I'm upset about, by all means, go for it. Y'all look it up yourself. But I am not ready because I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen to some characters that I very much enjoy and want to see more of. And then stuff happens to them. I'm like, I'm cool. I'm fine with never getting another season whatsoever. And they're like, oh, ReZero season 2. Nope.
I'm that's actually very interesting to hear. Ironically enough, I just got back to my house and I went out and I just bought the first 2 light novels for ReZero after season 2 got announced. I was like, yeah, I should probably finally read this before that starts. So I guess give me a month or 2 and I'll let you know how I feel, Billy.
There you go.
All right, so Kobayashi Maid Dragon season 2. Now, I know I'm okay with that because it gave me a good couple laughs here and there and throughout the whole show. So I'm okay with that. And I'm not the guy that goes ahead and looks, because this isn't, it's a good comedy for me. It's not really intense, into it, like for me in Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere, which, boy, that has a lot of material and it's taken me forever to get to. But you can see where the anime leaves that stuff and so on and so forth. But with Kobayashi, I think it's just going to be more comedy, nothing too serious. That's my opinion on that, and I'm welcoming it with open arms because comedy is always good.
Yeah, I like Moe Trash.
Comedy is great.
What'd you say, Cam?
I said I like Moe Trash. I'm excited.
Yeah, we all. I'm more Moe Trash, which leads me into talking about Cells at Work. More Moe Trash because platelets. They're getting a second season, and I'm curious of what they're going to do because they did cover a lot of diseases, heart. Different problems and stuff like that.
So if Cells at Work had a arc where there was a blood transfusion, would you consider that an isekai?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yes.
They did that at the end of it.
That question is valid.
I made the connection.
I did it. I connected it.
That's like how someone pointed out to me that technically Fate Stay Night is technically an isekai.
What, for the servants?
Because of for the servants.
That's Fate as a whole. Oh my word! I never put it together.
Someone else had done a video. I saw someone else had done a video for that, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
But
I never thought of that.
It's a different time, right? But it's not a different world necessarily.
This is
it's
true.
the same place.
Yeah, true.
I very much agree. For a majority of the servants, you got to think of the servants who aren't actual historical figures.
Sure, yeah.
So maybe for them, like
Nursery Rhyme or
Kojiro, Sasaki Kojiro, all them. So I mean, technically, I think even the King Arthur stuff, I don't know how much of that was actual historical things. So technically, that's their own world, and then they're
fair.
So I guess, but obviously for majority of them, it's just we're dragged from different timelines or whatever.
No, I'm totally on board. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, absolutely. No, I completely understand. It's one of those you got to dive a little bit deeper into. I completely agree. Now, I know one of the big ones you said though was Shield Hero, and that is I just got caught up on the last couple episodes of that, and that is. Oh boy, I am very much enjoying that show.
Yes, we're going to talk about that because that's the one changing the isekai genre for me personally. Because at the very beginning, they don't start overpowered; they're hated and all that stuff. But we'll get into that because I need to talk about another isekai real quick. Tanya of Evil is getting a second season, which me as a history fan, I kind of like because they're doing a different spin on the First World War.
Oh,
if you look close enough. Did you ever watch that?
Oh yeah, and I've seen Tanya. Also, Slime. Reincarnated as a Slime got a second season confirmed.
Oh yeah, 2020. Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna bring
sorry,
that up.
just throwing out. Sorry, didn't realize. I thought you were like, oh, by the way, no. Sorry. No, Tanya was really good. Tanya just got a movie or something like that, a month or so ago, if I remember correctly.
And I'm waiting for it to get subbed so I can watch it.
Same.
Because I'm trash when it comes to war and action, and then you throw
Me too.
So I'm trash, man. I'm just a general trash man. So it's all good. And the biggest thing, even though it's not a second season, for me personally in the rom-com world, Snafu Season 3. I am excited for it. I never thought they would announce it. But he finally gets to decide, I think, on who he chooses. So I am ready for it.
You know they never end up choosing in the end.
Yes,
It's never resolved.
Look, I can hope, okay? I can hope.
It's like the writer for Isekai tried to keep it going for so long.
Right.
I need to milk the cow. I need to milk the cow. And we're going to fire you if you don't hurry up. All right, now he's choosing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's pretty much the big stuff in the anime world. The news thing that's going on in the last couple days, minus, the new animes that are coming out. Like, Do You Like My Mom and Her multi-hit combo and some other weird stuff that's coming out. Well, we won't talk about those. Come on now. Because that's Isekai that looked generic as all hell when I looked at the trailer, so I'm not even going to worry about it.
Is that an Isekai?
It's an Isekai because he gets transported into the world through the computer. So,
what?
Yeah, he didn't get hit by Truck-kun, unfortunately. That would have made it more exciting. But he just went transported through the computer by pressing M like 50 times.
It's crazy how I had mentioned this before we started, but we had a very similar conversation to this like 2 years ago or something, and I was convinced at the time that like Isekai was the big trend of the moment, and it seems it's only gotten like more prominent as time has gone on. It's like actually 90% of anime is Isekai these days.
Yep, and that's what the people want apparently because they keep dishing it out.
Yeah, it's like it's hit or miss, right? Like some of them are really good, and then some of them are just absolute trash. So
yeah, I figured I would go ahead and pull up the upcoming spring anime list, and there's one coming up for that called Kinja no Mago. Guy is reborn into another world. Looking to see what else is up here. So carry on. I'm just.
I'm wondering if the vending machine one. There's a guy that gets reincarnated as a vending machine. I'm curious if that's ever gonna get one.
I want to see the one where the dude gets reincarnated as a hot springs.
Oh, that would be a good one too.
Ooh.
That's like an actual thing.
Jesus Christ.
But let's jump in while Kool-Aid's pulling up that list. Let's get a head start on the topic here of Shield Hero and Slime. The two Isekais that came through this season and definitely did an impact on the Isekai world. They both kind of counteract each other, or they're opposites, because the main character of Slime dies and gets these powerful things, but he has a lot of shit he goes through to get to that point. And then you start with Shield Hero, main character, who, I got reincarnated and everything went to shit very, very, very fast, and I got fucked royally. And you get to see some righteous justice in it, which makes me so happy when it happens. So, let's talk to the panel. Have you guys watched any of this? We already talked to Kool-Aid. He said he just caught up.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I'm so far behind.
Well, you can give your valuable input, because, you still watch anime. You still know you still have an idea what the Isekai genre is like. What about
how far?
That is true. I like both of them. As separate entities.
Yeah, how far had you gotten in each of them?
Two episodes, maybe?
Okay.
Maybe? That's pushing it.
Well, that's fair, because the first episode of Shield Hero was almost an hour long. It was 50 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And she understands how he gets fucked over royally, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, Cam, what about you?
I wish I had known ahead of time so I could do my homework. As far as Slime goes, I'm farther in it than I am in Shield Hero. I'm probably only a dozen or so episodes into Slime, and I do like it a lot. It's fun, it's goofy. It's not anything that I take too seriously. As far as Shield Hero goes, it was before the season started. It was super hyped up. Everybody was talking about it, right? And people still are.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to watch it. I watched the first episode, and obviously, I haven't given it its fair shot if I've only seen the first episode. But it kind of irked me. I wasn't really about the I don't know, the
when he got accused,
framed for sexual assault thing was a little bit off-putting to me, but like, you know, I guess if I'm painting with a broad brush, I watched all of Goblin Slayer, and that had a very similar problematic first episode, right? So
it's just putting it lightly, my dude.
So I think I should go back and watch more of Shield Hero, especially since you guys seem to be enjoying it so much. But that first episode kind of put me off.
Oh yes, so let me give you guys I'm not going to try and spoil anything here, but I'm just going to give a quick rundown for Shield Hero. Basically, throughout it, he gets Raftalia, which is the raccoon lolly slave thing you saw.
That is the number one reason to watch. Yeah, she's real.
Number one. He also gets like a chick that turns into a little girl with angel wings. Philo, that's what she's called, and she's super cute and can kick some ass.
She's a white chocobo, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. But throughout it, you see him going through and dealing with the other heroes' messes and cleaning up and getting his own like rapport back, and like people loving him. And so I'm trying to like beat around the bush here, but you see him go and deal with the other people's problems because they're still in the mindset of it's an MMO, they can do whatever they want, where he's like, this is reality, so I gotta deal with it as it comes. And my biggest thing is, he's like, oh, you want me to be the bad guy? Well, fuck, I'll be the bad guy. All right, let's go. I'll still save your ass, but it's going to cost you something.
I'm going to be the bad guy. Except I won't, because I'm going to sell you medicine, baka.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like a tsundere villain. But no, I joke about that, but he definitely takes on that role. And no matter the situation that comes up, whether it's, I'm saving this village, I'm taking all their money, but I'm saving this village. Because they're going to pay me, or oh, you want to join my group or whatever, okay, you have to buy this item that I made, or ends up helping, you know, all these various towns, the groups of people, and the biggest portion of this all too is, I know we said villain, but he ends up having to clean up messes from the other heroes, and that's like one of the other biggest things that the other heroes don't even realize. Oh, I fucked this shit up. And he's like, yeah, quit, you know, saying shit about me when you almost wiped out an entire like countryside of people, you know, because of your actions. And so it's not just villain, he's playing janitor. It's like, oh, y'all have fucked this shit up. I'm the one cleaning up. I'm cleaning up after you youngins after making all this mess and racket, you know, type thing. But not to that extent. But it's. I won't go into detail of all the stuff that goes on, but it's a lot of shit. And it is like very impressive to see this take on it. Because like you said, a whole bunch of people just usually get dropped into a world or whatever. They're either overpowered or it's that build up to it. And I just remembered another series I want to mention. It was actually really interesting, and I'm hoping for a second season on. But I very, very much want to see where this goes, because I've been holding back from reading the manga. Supposedly there is already like the manga for Shield Hero or whatever is already like way further, and I've been holding back from reading it just yet. And I'm like, I want to.
Yeah,
it's so tough, man.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Go ahead, before I start this other part of the discussion, bring up what you were talking about. You said you had another one.
I had another Isekai that I thought of. There was called Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash.
Yes.
That was really good. I really like that.
So good.
So tell me about it, because I haven't watched it.
It was actually a very large group of people get sent to a alternate world, but when they do, like very shortly after, all of their memories of their previous world just disappear, and they have to start over fresh. But
yeah, it was sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. No. It was.
I think it was really interesting how like I like the isekais because like I'm a big fan of, you know, fantasy and dark fantasy and that sort of setting, and I like when an isekai like Grimgar did, where they tell you that it's an isekai, they establish that at the beginning of the show, but then it sort of just becomes a non-point. You know, like after the first episode or whatever, the fact that they came from somewhere else is basically just not a plot point at all.
Yeah,
which I like. You know, I liked that show a lot.
I know that was one complaint some people had of, oh, every time there's an isekai, the people were trying to get back to their world or whatever, and that's just like you said, that just becomes a non-factor because they honestly don't even remember at some point that they were from another world.
Yeah.
Also, as you were saying that, sorry, I'm throwing this out here again, just my brain jumping from one thing to the next. I just realized Digimon was an isekai.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, when you think about it. But
Oh, God.
yeah, I shattered your childhood just then, didn't I? No.
Oh.
But no. Like Grimgar was great. I'm trying to think of any others.
You should definitely watch it, Kyle.
Absolutely.
It's very good.
Got it if you want.
Yeah,
I
heard you.
I also pulled up AniChart. This isn't an actual like isekai thing, but I thought this was really funny that they're doing a little comedy chibi thing called Isekai Quartet.
And
yeah.
They're pulling in from Konosuba, Overlord, ReZero, and Tanya, and I think another something of that nature.
Oh, yeah.
And
I saw the previews for it. It looks super cute.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I didn't see that many other isekais for the coming up spring season, but for summer I see at least 2. No, it went somewhere. Where did you? Okay, also, I found the thing you were talking about of the my mom and her 2-hit combo. Thing.
Her multi-hit combo. Yeah.
It's airing in July.
So what is that? Is that some sort of fighting game joke or?
I don't know. I looked at the trailer and, like I said, it looks so generic. I had to look away.
I think you're correct because it opens up with, "What would you do if you got transported into a video game with your mom?"
Oh, great!
So it's like, okay. There's another one.
Oh, man.
Arifureta Shokugyo de Sekai Saikyo. I do not know the premise of that, but I remember seeing a manga, like a chapter or so of a manga for that title, and it's done by White Fox, who did Kill la Kill. So I'm wondering.
They did ReZero as well.
They did do ReZero, so I had to. Trying to see what else is up here real quick. I know I saw another one.
Feels like it sort of comes in waves, you know.
Really does.
So while you do, I was about to say, so did you guys ever actually watch Overlord? Since we're gonna, before I go start the other topic, because I'm okay with in his aspect of being overpowered, because he's just like, well, I don't care if I ever go home or not, so let me just learn this world and take it over.
So I was never really like sold on the premise of Overlord, because like usually the sort of like goofy comedy thing isn't really for me, and that's what I was sort of told that it was, but
oh no,
I don't know if that's true or not. Like, isn't Overlord the one where like somebody has like a body pillow as a sidekick? And
no, like they make a joke of it, but that's like it. There's a couple comedy aspects, but it's mostly action, serious political stuff like blood, guts.
Okay.
Like, there's comedy bits, but it's not just comedy.
Yeah, I've always been very confused on the like.
There's a couple comedy parts because in the beginning he was like joking around because he thought the video game was about to end, so he's like, let me look at this succubus that was like the maid kind of thing. Oh well, now she has the thing for me, ha ha ha, and then all of a sudden it became real. He's like that setting. He's like, fuck, why did I do that? Okay, and she's the one that made the joke of look at my Ein's body pillow, which is him without the suit. It's literally just a skeleton with a red orb, like where his pelvis area is. So Jesus like, that's the joke, but it's mostly action, political stuff, like nation politics, how he's affecting the world, so on and so forth. And it's really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard that people like it a lot, and I've never actually given it a shot. So
yeah, I'll give it a shot. There are comedy aspects, but if you want something serious and like a different like taste of isekai for the seriousness, I'd say go for that.
I will do that.
So, Mr. Kool-Aid there, did you get your list in order?
Yeah, I didn't see any other ones in there. I thought I had seen another one. But that might have been where my brain was like, Digimon. What? No. No. But no, I definitely enjoyed Overlord as well. I have caught up to the 2nd season, and I am about to start watching the 3rd.
Oh, the third's so good.
Yeah, so I actually have not gotten to that part just yet, but just even in just the 1st season alone, it took a little bit for me to get into it. Probably more so than it usually takes. I usually try to give an anime about 3 episodes or so. It took about 5 for me to get into it, like completely get into it, and I'm like, by that time, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking sold on this. But it's just one of those slow starts. But even at that point, by the same time, I'm like in the 5th episode or so. That's about where everyone else is like, holy shit, have you seen this? And where the action kicks in, shit hits the fan, and Ain's the overlord, quote unquote, the main dude, is pretty much not taking anyone else's shit. Where they're like, "Oh, there's no way you could beat me." Da 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 da. He's like, "Watch me, bitch! I'm going to fucking own you by the end of this shit." And just does his thing. Like it is great at that point. Like to see that level of overpowered as well. Like what was it? How not to summon a demon lord type thing.
Jesus, yeah.
Like that level of just I am so fucking overpowered. This is not even funny. It just every time it turns around, like Ainz is just someone thinks they have a one up on him, and he just goes,
"Ha, you're funny."
But wait, there's more. You know.
So
Swift as shit.
And to put it in retrospect, the only people that can actually give him a hard time right now are his people, because kind of mini spoiler, one of them gets like brainwashed, and he has to end up fighting them, and they actually give him a run for his money, and that's when it puts it in retrospect. Oh, there are people that can actually kill you, but it's your people, so you really don't have to worry about it. So, but yeah, like that personally, that's one of my favorite isekais. I love that. For comedy, I love Konosuba, but right now it's all about that shield hero because God bless. But let's go on and talk about.
No, we can't scoot from Shield Hero just yet, Kyle.
Why not?
I have to know this because I have gotten up to this point. Raphtalia or Philo?
Well, first of all, one's a child. Well, technically, they're both are children.
When does that stop people?
You're not wrong. Okay,
when the police when the police intervene.
Dangerous territory.
Like knocking on the door. Hello,
FBI.
First of all, first of all, Philo's a child. So it's obvious Raphtalia.
Thank you.
So even though she's still
the one that
I think she's like a teenager.
She's mentally a child.
Yeah, like she grew up the match her level, like her body wise, but I think her mind's still in the teenage area. I'm not sure. So they didn't really touch on that.
Well, 18's teenager still technically, so
yeah.
Yikes.
He's just like,
oh.
Anyway, I'm just doing that to stir up shit because it is very funny to watch people just regardless of the show, just how there's always some kind of who's best girl thing. I just always like to start that up because it's fun. But
I didn't even know that the other girl exists. If that's any indication of how people feel, like I only ever see Raphtalia.
To be fair, I did not know about her either because when I first started watching it, my buddy Tim, Moroku, if anybody else listens to the podcast or whatever, who's been on, he's been on a couple podcasts as well. He told me, he's like, here, this is a really good show, but I've already watched the first I've already watched and seen the opening. The opening is a good song, but do not watch it. Like skip the opening because it has spoilers in there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And the spoilers were actually about Philo or whatever.
Yes.
Or stuff that goes on with her. And so I don't watch it. I was just like, okay, cool. I'll just have it play and I can hear the music and know when it goes. And then I really liked the theme song. So yeah, no, Kyle. I see that picture. Anyway.
It has good text to it. But that's who Philo is.
Oh, that picture's great.
So for anyone who can't see if this is only sound being recorded,
this is probably gonna be sound.
Oh yeah. So Kyle just shared a thing in the group that says it's a picture of Philo, ravioli, for the love of God, do not lose the chicken wally. Okay.
There you go.
I'm not gonna be able to unsee that now. Okay.
So
anyway,
this is a perfect segue over to slime, if you ask me. Oh boy. So, reincarnated as a slime, as it's the total counterpart to Shield Hero, where he started out weak and got even worse, essentially, because, getting screwed over, no money, no nothing. He, in Slime, was a businessman going out to lunch or dinner with his, younger kohai or whatever, then gets stabbed trying to protect his kohai. All of a sudden, he's talking to this god, machine, whatever you want to call it. And he's saying this random stuff. It's like, oh, you want this skill? Sure. You want this skill? Sure. Sure. And now he's a slime with this godly ability to absorb and get any power. So, take that. He goes and tames like a goblin village, makes them his people, tames these like dire wolves and all this stuff, and gives them name and makes them stronger, and it goes from there. That's pretty much the gist of slime. So, what's your guys' opinion on slime?
That
Awesome.
Tsundere dragon was 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Veldora. Oh my god. No, that was absolutely great. I very much enjoy the interaction with them on that.
So what about you, my friend Cam?
Yeah, it's super fun. Like I said, I'm not fully caught up, but I've been enjoying it. I think it's just, you know, like junk food anime, right? Like I'm not taking it too seriously, but it's like it's fun and entertaining, you know.
So how far
Absolutely.
I'm like 12 episodes in or something. I'm not super far.
are you? Okay. Because I'm trying to like beat around the bush here with no spoilers. But he basically likes to start building his own village and does it multiple times because he gets destroyed multiple times, which is hilarious. Because he's like, oh, yes, I got a good thing going. And there goes the village. All right.
All right, whose ass do I have to whoop now before we restart the village?
Take it outside the village, everyone. This is my homestead for those Assassin's Creed people. But so comparing Slime to Shield Hero, which one do you think's doing the best right now between the two isekais? Which one do you think's grabbing more people?
By sheer episode number, because right now they're like 20 something episodes versus like 11 or 12, I think that are out of
going to 25. It's been confirmed they're going to 25.
It's confirmed. Okay,
special.
and they do have since they got the second season of Slime confirmed is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, as far as which is doing better, I don't know which one to pick. Which has gotten more people on board with it, I believe, is Slime, because Slime's already started doing some collabs with some mobile games and whatnot.
Yeah, Grand Summoners, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, as far as I understand, I believe Slime is going to be the more popular one. Although I'm very much enjoying. I don't think if you said you got to pick one of these, I don't know which one I could pick. I'm enjoying them both so much.
Yeah, like Slime has had like a little bit more time to you know grab that audience. I think personally, at least in my circles, whether it's good or bad feedback, like Shield Hero has been dominating the conversation for the past month or two. You know, whether it's people that don't like it or people that love it or whatever, it's just all I see on my timeline. So I think currently it is grabbing a lot of the mind share for sure, but like you said, Slime is just very popular right now, but it's had a little bit more time to get its footing.
The fact that it's had more time, the fact that Shield Hero has half the amount of episodes right now and is still doing like I said, I can't pick one or the other. It's had half as much time and it has that much influence as well. That's showing how good it is, at least right now. So,
yeah, it's definitely the talk of the season for sure.
Absolutely.
That and Promised Neverland.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I keep hearing about that too. Everyone keeps saying go watch it.
Have you both not watched it? Stop.
I've seen like
I
the first.
It's
I saw
so
the
good.
first episode. I saw the first episode.
All right,
It's
give
so
me a
good.
synopsis. Sell it to me, man. Sell it to the audience.
I can't. It's a hard show to give a synopsis of because it's one that like I'm someone who most of the shows that I like follow a certain trend if anybody on the internet knows me. And that trend being you should watch it because I said so, but I can't tell you why.
I run into that problem too. No, I run into that problem where I try to people try to say, what anime would you recommend? And I'll say, oh,
you give them a list and you're like, why? It was like, well,
yes, that's the issue is when they say, well, why? What's it about? I can't tell you, or I'm going to fucking spoil shit, or something of that nature, or I can't describe how, or,
right.
Then there's a thing of, well, my interest may not be the same. Why I'm into it may not be the same as you. But if I go to explain, this is what happens there. Half the time I get the response of, oh, okay, well, maybe that's not for me. No, watch it anyway. Yeah, but you said, fucking go watch it. Then.
Well, it's like anybody who knows me, you guys, I'm sure, and then people who watch me on YouTube know that Monica's my favorite thing ever, right?
Yeah.
And so we can talk about that since it's a decade old. But it's like, how do you describe that to somebody who like, hey, you should watch this show? And it's like, why? Well, it's
You like depression, right?
Well, it's like I don't want to tell people that, right? I would be like, yeah, it's fun and innocent and nothing bad ever happens, which is what it starts out as, right? Like that's what you want to tell people. So it's tough. So I get you, Billy. I hear
if
you.
that was how you introduced Madoka to me, though, as far as like, if I actually said, "Well, what's it about?" and you said, "Yeah, it's great and nothing bad ever happens," I would look at you and go, "You're a goddamn liar." But no. It is that issue of trying to explain stuff to people when you just say, "No, just please go watch it," but they won't.
Right.
And then years later, someone's like, "I finally watched Gurren Lagann, and you're right, it was good." Yeah, it only took you how fucking long?
It's like a lot of the times the punchline, is the good part, like Zombieland Saga that was on last season. I don't know if any of you guys watched it, but it's like I just want somebody to watch the first like 25 seconds of that show, and I don't want to tell them what happens because the punchline is so good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great.
Like you don't want to tell them that it's about girls that are already dead, because then the punchline is not as impactful.
I would just show them the episode 2 with the rat battle. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. That's fair.
That was fire.
Legendary, man.
Yes.
Oh,
But not too much fire, because zombies don't like fire.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck I'm
That's
saying.
true.
All right, so we're getting towards the end here. It's a shorter one because we already touched on this topic like years ago, but we're
go watch that.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll slap it in your face and do all that like I usually do. It's all good. So,
and if you want to know what that podcast is about, we're not going to spoil it here. Go watch it yourself. Wait,
right?
Yeah, go watch it.
So let's talk about the pros or the cons of each from what you guys seen. And then we'll start wrapping it up after that. So are there any cons that you don't like? Well, Cam already touched on the first episode of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to have a definitive statement, right? Like, I like Billy mentioned earlier, like to give an anime like its first 3 episodes or whatever before I form any sort of preliminary opinions. So, like, I have to, give it more time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Billy, what about you? What's your definitive thing on it? Like
the con of it?
Yeah.
Man. If I were to pick something of that, I'm also just kind of vamping, so I'm trying to think at the same time of talking, because trying to fill that empty space.
Skills.
Right? Just go. It's very tough. It's a skill you have to develop when you do podcasts and stuff. Now, the immediate cons, I'm very. It's only got a couple episodes in, and I'm very much enjoying it. But I'm definitely the con right now is I don't know how it ends. I don't know what is going to happen, and if I'm still going to be as enthusiastic about it by the end of it. So I guess the biggest con right now is just there needs to be. I just want more episodes more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of shows fall into that trap, right? Like, it's all about the build-up, but, like, if the build-up doesn't lead to something that's, impactful or whatever, it doesn't.
So, like,
that's disappointing.
Yeah, that's a great example, Kyle. Fucking Darling in the Franxx, which is a totally fine show for most of it, and then it's... Oh, man.
Interesting premise. That happens with so many shows that are, like, an interesting premise. One of my... one of those shows that I would recommend to people was like Guilty Crown back when it first came out. Like, the amazing concept to start off with. The first 4 or 5 episodes was like, holy shit, this is amazing. But by the end of it, it's like, what the fuck, guys? So every anime at this, because of that, I go into now, I'm like, okay, this is a really great premise. I'm really liking the direction this is going. Is it going to carry
follow through? Yeah.
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 So I don't want it to get so hyped up that it just burns out by the end of it, and it's just like, oh well, never mind, I'm not going to recommend this. No, I'm still going to recommend it to people, but that's whatever. Let's see, I'm trying to think of any other cons, but I can't really think of anything else. But that's like the biggest thing right now is because I don't know how it's going to end. I want to have the same enthusiasm by the end of it, but right now that's an unknown. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel that.
All right, Hillary. From what you saw, because we haven't heard much of you, so I'm trying to get you in here.
Yes. So, like, from what I've seen from both of them, like, okay, so I like both of them, and I've seen, like, bits and pieces of spoilers, like the Tsundere dragon from Slime and little bits and pieces. And so from, like, episode super far ahead from where I'm at. But I like Shield Hero, and I like the idea of it. Like, when I look at Shield Hero, I see more like more drama, or like a dramatic story, like with his struggles and everything and all that jazz. And then with Slime, I see more of like a comedic factor.
For sure.
Only because he's a slime, but it's just one of those things. It's kind of like, it depends on my mood, I guess. Like, I've just been watching a bunch of like happy-go-lucky, fluffy anime right now, and so when I'm feeling more serious, it's like I would turn to Shield Hero, and when I'm feeling more, oh, what's this? I'd turn to a Slime. But cons right now, I think the jury, at least in my case, because I'm not super invested in them. The jury's kind of out on that, but I don't want to get wrapped up in them and then be like disappointed that it didn't either go where I was wanting it to go, or it just like undershot or overshot like what I wanted it to do, I guess. Because that's happened a lot on other animes, so it's kind of that sort of thing. Like, right now, I like them both. I hope it stays that way.
All right, so let's go on to the cons of Slime here. She's already touched on her part. So for me personally, like Slime, I love it. Sometimes I wish it could be a little more serious. The only serious part I've seen was towards the last couple episodes that came out, and it involves people possibly dying. Like, that's as far as I've seen seriously. When it comes to it, I mean, of course, people have died, got stabbed, and all that stuff. I'm talking about like serious, like this is the underlying arc for 2 episodes. So like, I get it. I just want more seriousness a little bit, even just a tiny bit.
Even the I want to point out like one of the arcs though that was actually very serious because it could have impacted the entire continent. And I'm not sure. I don't want to spoil this for you in any way, shape, or form. Hillary, so I'm going to try to just...
I'm good with spoilers, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get upset with spoilers.
Yeah, like, I realize saying in and of itself that it was an arc is going to be kind of that way anyway. But, like, with the whole thing with the orcs, like, leading up to that, like, the development of what all happened with them, that was definitely a more serious tone, because it's like, holy crap, this entire army is getting so strong because this orc lord was created that, you know, could completely eat everything on every person everywhere on the continent, and we have to be careful when fighting them, because if we die and get eaten, our power becomes their power type thing. So that was definitely a serious issue, but by the time Rimuru is like, oh, I got this, fam. So
yeah, pretty much. It's like, all right, pop dead. All right, moving on.
There was still a serious tone to that, is what I'm basically trying to get at. So I feel that they're maybe, I guess, not to the point of like life. I guess it's like a life-threatening situation for
everyone else but him.
Yeah, the fact they're like, we have to make several alliances to be like, we're cool with everyone, we're gonna knock out this dude, and then we'll deal with ourselves afterwards. So, there's moments of it because of that, and in the end, it might not be as serious because of Rimuru and the shenanigans he can do. But even the build up to that does have a tone of seriousness. I just want to point that out for certain parts. Yeah, a lot of it's just like little comedy things. Absolutely. There's a lot of just crazy shenanigans that goes on with like demon lords and stuff like that. It's fucking hilarious and I enjoy it. But there's definitely some serious tones to it. So, not to prove you wrong, Kyle, but
that's perfectly fine. That's why you're here, to prove Kyle wrong. Well, no,
that's what this show's about, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I need everyone's input, man.
No.
I need everyone here.
No.
So what about you, Cam?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Hillary said, I'm not like super invested. So it's hard for me to, come down with the hammer and say what I don't like. But yeah, I think like one of the problems that comedy shows like this can have, and I know we just went over how it's not purely that, but is overstaying their welcome. So like you do certainly need an underlying plot to keep you watching the show, because you can only watch so many episodes of moe antics or whatever until it gets sort of boring. But, you know, like I said, I'm not far enough to know whether that's true or not, but that is something that I think becomes a concern, especially with the season 2 on the way, is you know, how long it can sustain itself. But like, there's obviously, you know, exceptions to this. Like you look at Gintama, that's been going on for, you know, 40,000 years or whatever, and still has such a religious fan base. So, you know, we'll have to see.
So, yeah, I think that pretty much just covers everything between the two. So I'm going to do a quick fire round here real quick, a.k.a. If you could choose one of the worst isekais you ever seen, what would it be?
Oh, God. That's so quick. I need to think.
In Another World was my smartphone. As funny as it was, it was still that, what the hell is going on? Why? What? No.
Yeah, that's a love-hate relationship with me. It's like, okay, so it's an isekai. Okay, it's a harem. Okay, what's going on? I'm made of confusion.
My default answer is always and forever will be Garzy's Wing. So if you haven't watched Garzy's Wing, I highly recommend it. It's the worst show I've ever watched.
Yeah, you want to waste your time? This is well worth it. Go do it. Okay.
There's only 3 episodes. It'll take you, like 40 minutes. It's an experience.
I feel like I've heard of it. Actually,
Yeah.
you may have told us
We
about this.
definitely talked about it on the last show that we did about this.
Jesus, we
So
did.
I won't rehash, but definitely you guys should watch it. It's so bad that it's good.
Now, for me, as much as I liked How Not to Summon the Demon Lord, it was so generic to me. It was funny.
It's like borderline hentai, right?
Yeah, borderline hentai.
Yeah.
No, you know what's borderline hentai? Hard X Hybrid. That is borderline hentai, okay?
There's a lot of it, man. You know.
Ooh.
But for me, right now, it's How Not to Summon the Demon Lord. It was funny and all, but it was so generic to me. And I was just like, all right, I understand you're overpowered. I know you didn't mean to get summoned here, and you're better off here because you're this strong guy. You're not alone anymore. You're not in your like little hole in the wall. But, you know, it was just generic to me. But the worst of them all is Digimon. Now, anyway, folks, we're moving on. Trying to tackle the fan bases here.
Fired.
No.
Shots fired. Oh.
So, thank you all for joining us.
I'm getting in my car.
I appreciate you all coming here. Shout out to Kool-Aid, Hillary, Cam for being here. Really appreciate you all giving your time up to talk to me about nerd shit. So,
Hey, so Joe, before we cut this off, can I put you on the spot here?
all right.
So Joe's Corner is back, right?
Yes,
It's
I'm going to try and do at least 1 month.
Is this going to be with any sort of regularity, or are we going to see you guys in 2022?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if you want it in 2022, I can make it happen.
It's a date.
I'm trying to stick like consistency. Trying to put videos up every 3 to 4 days because consistency is how you get out there. Hopefully, but Joe's Corner, I'm going to try and do at least like 2 to 3 a month. This is like at the tail of the month, so the next one will probably be in April. I'll try and organize that. Do something. I don't know. We'll talk about that after I end this little button here. But thank you all for showing up. I appreciate you. I'll plug all your YouTube channels at the bottom. Just remember, Digimon sucks, and I'll see you all later.